Exposing the silent wealth crisis, how Americans are screwed by inheritance. The unspoken financial time bomb, why Americans must rethink their legacy plans. Imagine being forced to rely on family handouts to achieve the American dream, a harsh reality for millions of young Americans. The escalating costs of living, stagnant wages, soaring home prices, and crippling student debt have transformed the notion of generational wealth into a vital lifeline for financial stability. This seismic shift is redefining how Americans perceive wealth, security, and the legacy they leave behind. A tectonic shift in wealth, the $84 trillion question. By 2045, a staggering $84 trillion will change hands, marking the largest intergenerational wealth transfer in history. This unprecedented event is dragging once taboo topics, inheritance, estate planning, and preparing for the inevitable, into the spotlight. Yet, amidst these colossal stakes, many American families remain woefully unprepared, while their younger counterparts navigate a labyrinthine financial landscape. This growing chasm underscores the pressing need for holistic financial education that encompasses not just wealth accumulation, but also the responsible transfer of wealth. Bridging the financial literacy gap with NAFLI. Enter NAFLI, the National Alliance for Financial Literacy and Inclusion, a nonprofit championing the cause of simplified, family-centric, and accessible financial education for all Americans. By innovating through education rather than sales, NAFLI empowers financial institutions to tackle the often overlooked conversations surrounding multi-generational wealth preservation, end-of-life planning, and inheritance. This proactive approach enables families to establish clear financial roadmaps, thereby shielding them from the confusion, conflict, and financial devastation that can accompany unplanned wealth transfers. Tackling the uneven landscape of generational wealth, NAFLI acknowledges that these challenges disproportionately affect certain demographics. To address this, NAFLI has developed culturally nuanced resources that mirror the diverse realities of American households. Leveraging generative AIs, conferences, and digital tools, NAFLI is pioneering a more equitable access to financial preparedness, bridging the knowledge gaps that have long plagued marginalized communities. The democratization of financial literacy. In stark contrast to the high-fee, wealth threshold models of traditional financial advisors and estate planning services, NAFLI fervently believes that financial literacy is a fundamental right, not a privilege reserved for the affluent. By distilling complex legal and financial processes into accessible, user-friendly programs, NAFLI ensures that its partners' financial literacy initiatives are inclusive, catering to families across the entire income spectrum. But here's where it gets controversial. Should financial literacy indeed be a universal right, or are there scenarios where privilege plays a necessary role in wealth management? We want to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Sources: NAFLI. How NAFLI is empowering families to build generational wealth through financial education, 2025. Important disclosure. Investing involves risk, and the value of your investment may fluctuate. Past performance is not indicative of future results. The statements above do not constitute investment advice. Editorial independence. This content was created independently of the BDG Media newsroom and editorial staff. The 124 trillion opportunity banks are missing, legacy planning, and the great wealth transfer. Imagine this. An 85-year-old customer has just passed away, and her daughter walks into your bank branch visibly distressed. She carries a shoebox filled with account statements, a handwritten will that references 3 unfamiliar banks, documents related to a flower shop that closed 5 years ago, and photographs of people she doesn't recognize. Overwhelmed with grief, she seeks assistance in untangling the financial chaos her mother left behind. Yet, you find yourself unable to provide her with even basic information about her mother's accounts without navigating through 3 different systems to locate her small business checking account, personal savings, and a certificate of deposit. This scenario unfolds countless times every day across the United States, representing a staggering $124 trillion opportunity that banks are failing to seize. Let's clarify a common misconception about the impending wealth transfer. It's not a sudden wave, but rather a gradual shift that has already begun. By the year 2048, it is projected that around $124 trillion will be passed down from one generation to the next. However, this transfer is not a single event. It occurs slowly as families age, make plans, and ultimately pass on their legacies. The true opportunity lies not in waiting for the moment of inheritance, but in fostering relationships with the next generation during the years of preparation that precede it. Alarmingly, more than half of American families navigate these transitions without adequate preparation. Approximately $50 billion remains unclaimed in state treasuries because families are often unaware of their entitlements or how to access them. Legacy planning encompasses much more than just wills and trusts. It involves organizing a lifetime of financial intricacies, including insurance policies, retirement accounts, safe deposit boxes, business interests, real estate holdings, family photographs, and all the cherished memories that give money its significance. Everything must be systematically organized, easily accessible, and transferable. Banks are uniquely positioned to address this challenge and capitalize on it. However, failing to build these essential relationships poses an existential threat to their future. So why are they falling short? The trust gap that is costing your customers. Here's a startling statistic from Accenture. Banking and banks risk becoming largely invisible infrastructure. Only 29% of consumers have a high level of trust in their bank to safeguard their long-term financial well-being. A significant drop from 43% just 2 years ago. In contrast, a staggering 93% of clients in the financial services sector express a desire for estate planning advice, yet only 22% report actually receiving it. This isn't merely a gap in services. It's a gap in trust. Trust is the one area where community banks have historically outperformed their larger competitors. Having observed community banks for years, I've seen them struggle to set themselves apart. They emphasize relationships, tout local decision-making, and promise personalized service. Yet, when life becomes complicated, when customers face issues like inheritance, caregiving, or planning for their own mortality, each discussion about planning not only strengthens the bonds among family members, but also deepens the relationship with the bank providing guidance. When this planning occurs at your institution, it naturally leads to account consolidation. The accounts necessary for fulfilling inheritance plans are conveniently located within the same bank. Trust relationships extend across generations. And the costs associated with switching banks become substantial because it's not just about changing financial institutions. It's about disrupting carefully crafted plans. Consider this example. A customer has been loyal to your bank for 30 years. 3 years before his passing, you assist him in organizing his legacy plan. Not just his will and trust, but also his small accounting practice, rental properties, family photo albums, and even instructions for caring for his vintage car collection. His 3 adult children, who had never banked with your institution, spend those 3 years collaborating with their father and your team to understand and prepare for the transition. When he passes away, all 3 have already shifted their primary banking relationships to your institution. They are no longer just customers. They have become part of your banking family. This exemplifies the network effect in action and illustrates the future of customer acquisition. Beyond digital transformation, the banking sector often emphasizes digital transformation, pouring billions into mobile applications, AI chatbots, and omni-channel experiences. However, we frequently overlook the most crucial transformation of all: becoming genuinely helpful during life's most challenging moments. Legacy planning doesn't mean abandoning technology in favor of physical files and handwritten wills. Instead, it involves leveraging technology to provide human guidance at critical junctures. It requires developing systems that can track complex family dynamics, automate routine tasks, and highlight important decisions before they escalate into crises. Institutions that master this approach won't merely survive the great wealth transfer. They will orchestrate it. They will become the trusted partners that families turn to when life becomes complicated. The competitive advantage of care community. Banks have always thrived on relationships. However, true relationships extend beyond merely knowing customers' names or remembering their children's birthdays. They involve being present when it matters most. The next wave of banking innovation will not solely focus on faster payments or sleeker interfaces. It will center on assisting families in planning, protecting, and passing on their legacies. It will transform the most emotional and complex financial decisions into manageable, guided experiences. Banks that seize this opportunity will create something their competitors cannot easily replicate: genuine irreplaceability. When you help a family navigate the loss of a loved one, you don't just secure their business, you earn their loyalty for generations to come. The future of relationship banking, the great wealth transfer, is underway, whether your bank is involved or not. The pressing question is whether you will facilitate it or watch it slip away. Progressive banks are already taking action. They recognize legacy planning as the future of relationship banking. Not merely managing transactions, but guiding families through the most significant financial decisions of their lives. To provide that level of guidance on a large scale, banks require more than good intentions. They need tools specifically designed for this purpose. Legacy planning is intricate, emotional, and deeply personal. It necessitates technology that can organize details, present the right decisions at the right moments, and support banks in their role as trusted advisors. This is why digital platforms are a vital part of the solution, not a replacement for relationship banking, but a facilitator of it. At Alloy Labs, we are committed to identifying digital platforms that can assist our member banks in fulfilling this role. These platforms can elevate legacy banks by enhancing user experiences that simplify significant life-altering financial transactions. We seek tools that provide secure document storage, guided estate planning workflows, and the capability to preserve not only financial assets, but also personal legacies and life stories. The most effective platforms in this domain also offer seamless, co-branded experiences that strengthen the customer's connection to their bank rather than to the technology provider. One standout solution is Page, designed specifically for banks that prioritize long-term relationships over short-term transactions. Beyond merely digitizing estate planning, it infuses empathy and clarity into a process that can often feel overwhelming for families. Its design fosters the kind of trusted guidance that customers expect from their community bank, not a tech startup. This is why it aligns so seamlessly with the future of relationship banking. It enhances, rather than replaces, the human touch. We chose to invest in Page through our Alchemist Fund due to its robust planning features, bank-friendly model, and mission that resonates with community institutions. A superior user experience transcends technology. It involves pairing the right tools with the kind of care that only relationship banks can provide, transforming a $124 trillion transfer into a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for building relationships. Banks that embrace legacy planning now will not only retain customers, they will redefine what it means to be a relationship bank. The great wealth transfer is more than just a financial event. It's a trust event, a relevance event, and a once-in-a-generation opportunity to emerge as the institution that families depend on when the stakes are highest.